today just about getting started and taking some action. I want to give you some helpful hints on what you can do that can help you overcome maybe a few of the fears that you have and help you get right there in the thick of things. And so I'll ask a couple of questions, and that is, do you find yourself sometimes being reactive instead of active, or do you find yourself making excuses as to why you can't do something right now? Or are you filling your schedule with things that just fill time rather than things that are productive? I think all of us can say yes at some point to every one of those questions. Maybe not all the time we act that way, but at least some of the time we do. And I even find myself sometimes filling my schedule with things that aren't as productive as they could be and feeling very busy but not really getting anything done. What we want to do is make sure that that doesn't happen, that we're filling our time with things that are the most important things to get done, because really time is not always on our side. It seems like time goes by so quickly, and before you know it, the day is over. And in our case, we say every week, oh my gosh, it's already Sunday again, because time is just going by so quick, and we have to take advantage of right now. Because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we need to take advantage of things happening right now. I want everybody, and I'm going to talk about this for really all of 20 seconds, but to remind you to set some goals and to split them into milestones and break each milestone down into a series of steps, and then break that down into smaller, measurable, achievable tasks, and then make lists of the things that you need to do to achieve those things, and cross off the items on the list as you get them done. There's a lot of satisfaction in getting things done on your list. I love to cross things off on a list as I get them done, and I find that it's easiest to do the harder things first, to cross off the more difficult things that I don't want to do, get those done first, and the rest of the day seems a lot easier. The other thing you need to do is stay plugged in to the trainings, the calls, and the events. Like the Super Saturday today. Participation in that event will keep your batteries charged, and that's going to help you stay focused on your Go Foods business. It's also going to help you have more success. So stay plugged into the things that need to happen. Before you get started with Go Foods, you don't need to know everything. You don't have to be an expert to begin talking to people. You don't need to know everything there is to know about the comp plan or everything in the Nutriversal seal or the whole history of the company. Those are things that are nice and they're important, but you don't have to know them. Everybody eats, and you know how to eat, and you probably have talked to people about food for really your whole life. So you don't need to know everything to get started. Look at your business as on-the-job training. Consider it something that you're going to be on the job doing your training just like you would any job. If you had a job working at Subway, you get on-the-job training. You would not be an expert before you got started helping customers. When I was a teenager, I worked at Six Flags Magic Mountain in California, amusement park with big roller coasters, and I worked on the rides. And so they started me out working on some of the smaller rides, and I worked my way up to working on the big roller coasters. But I certainly had to do it in order to learn how those rides operated, and it took training. I had somebody sit with me for a while, and I'd go through the process of running that ride with people on the ride, not doing dry runs while they were empty, but operating the ride for real. And over time, became pretty proficient at it, and eventually trained other people how to do it. Same thing with your Go Foods business. You're going to have somebody sit with you a while. That's going to be your upline who's going to help you with your business, who's going to talk you through some things, who's going to do some three-way calls with you, and who's going to really help you develop a business. And eventually you're going to be doing that with your downline. And the sooner you can do that, the better. Physicians are in practice. They're not perfect, but everybody is in practice. And you're experiencing all new things along the way. And as you hear questions asked, and you hear upline or other people answer those questions, it's going to become second nature to you to be able to answer those questions as well. So you want to follow your successful upline. They will help soften the learning curve for you, and they're going to help you avoid some of the bumps in the road. Probably not all of them, because you're going to need to experience some of them to really grow in the business. I want to give you some reasons why now is the good time to take massive action. Now is a good time for you to jump in with both feet and make this happen. number one is because nobody's going to come and save you. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, when they get started in a business, think that the product, the training, the program, their upline, the computer, the website, a video, something is going to come and bring them success. All these tools, if I just had this video, then I could be successful. If I just had this product, then I could be successful. And the fact is, that's not how it works, because you could have all the tools in the world and still not be successful, because success comes from inside of you, not from an outside source. And you have to draw that from yourself, and that motivation and that enthusiasm, and everything you need to be successful is already in you. And we want to bring that out because you already have it. Innately, you are successful and you're wonderful, and we just want to help you develop that and pull that out. But please don't be illusioned into thinking that everything will change for you if you just have that one thing. We'll give you all the arrows in your quiver, and then you need to pull them out and shoot them. The next thing is take action, because you'll create positive momentum. There's no question that action leads to results, any kind of action. It's the law of physics. You can't have action with no results or no reaction. Every action has a positive and opposite reaction. It's Newton's law of physics, and it's proven, and it is there. It exists in the universe and every single thing in your life, and you will have results if you take action. The beautiful part about that formula is that results are going to increase your belief in how much you can accomplish, which in turn is going to help you take more action. And it's a beautiful cycle. It only leads to more success. So I challenge you, try it. It's great. It's exciting. The next thing is you're going to feel better about yourself. You should be taking action for yourself. I remember first time I went out and I spoke to somebody about Go Foods, it wasn't great. I wasn't good at it. I didn't have a message. I floundered around a little bit, but you know what? I was so glad I did it because I learned what worked. And I learned what worked not from other people telling me what worked, but I learned what worked from trying it and from making mistakes and from thinking, you know what, that didn't make a lot of sense even to me, and I just said it, let alone to the person I said it to. But you have to do something every day. And if you do something every day, you're going to perfect your message. And you're going to get better at it, and you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to believe in yourself even more. You're going to learn by doing things. Take action because you'll get it when you do it, not because somebody else is doing it. And you can have some incentives for yourself. That you reward yourself when you get things done, and you reward yourself when you make some attempts or you try some things. And you're not going to know what works best for you until you actually do it. The fifth thing is that fear doesn't go away. I still get butterflies in my stomach making phone calls. It doesn't get easier just because time goes on. It gets a little bit more simple. You start to feel more confident. But when you do something hard, when you get up in front of a room to give a presentation, when you make that phone call to that person that you feel like maybe is a little bit better at you than something, those butterflies are going to be there. And the future still has some fear in it, but fear doesn't go away. I'm as scared of failure as anybody is. And I'm afraid of being ridiculed just as much as anybody is. And the difference between the action takers and the non-action takers is that they're more afraid what will happen if they don't take action than if they do take action. And I can tell you that I have seen my perspective shift over the years, that I used to be afraid of taking action and what would happen if I took action and what people would say about me or how they would react. But that has shifted to where now I'm more afraid to not take action, because not taking action means nothing will happen. And I'm more afraid of nothing happening than something happening. Knowledge isn't power, but applied knowledge is. You can have the smartest PhD in the world out there, but they're not a powerful person. They aren't changing the world. their knowledge is not going to create success all on its own. You can go to school and you can get the highest degree of education, but just having that degree is not going to ensure that you're going to be wildly crazy successful. You have to think about, again, Newton's first law of physics, which is an object in motion will stay in motion unless an external force is applied. So in reverse, if you're not in motion, you have to do something to start motion happening and for that momentum to build. So if you write the greatest email or the greatest blog, but nobody reads it, then nobody benefits from it. How are you going to get it out there to get people to read it? Well, you need to get people out there. Number 7 is you won't know until you try. You won't know how successful you can be or how good at this you can be until you try. And you could have the greatest things in the world, like our Go Foods products, the greatest products in the world, but if you don't share them with people, if you don't have a 30-second elevator pitch that you can give, then you're not going to see any growth. The only action you'll see is the ones that you take yourself. And then finally, it's a lot nicer outside the comfort zone than you think it is. I know a lot of people say, oh, you got to get outside your comfort zone. You've got to get outside what you feel is your little safe bubble. But you know what? I like it outside the comfort zone. As I've gotten outside of my comfort zone, I feel like, I've expanded that comfort zone. That felt kind of good. I liked that, being outside that little comfort zone. And as time goes on, that zone gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're able to expand. But the fears in your mind will sometimes create scary scenarios that keep you in your comfort zone. But those scenarios usually aren't even real. So stretch yourself outside the comfort zone because it's nicer out there than you think. And there's such an opportunity with Go Foods, and we've talked about it on previous calls, but such an opportunity on Go Foods because you can build this 4x4 and you can create this crazy, incredible income. And you can do that not only for yourself, but for other people. And you can see other people have great, wild success. And you will see yourself develop and grow and have amazing things happen in your life. And that's going to take place because you're going to make some tries. And you're going to get better at what you're doing. And you're going to build that 4x4, which is just 4 people who tell 4 people who tell 4 people who tell 4 people and onward. And you will see yourself go from making $700 a month to $2,000 a month to maybe $5,000 a month, maybe $10,000 a month as you grow that business, but you stay focused on building that 4x4. And that means you may have to talk to 10 to 15 people to find 4 good, serious people who will embrace what you're doing and what we're doing at Go Foods and move forward, and you will see that income grow. We're going to encourage people to, like pulling balls out of a basket. You know, you can't see them, you just keep pulling them out, and you're looking for that really hot one, that great one that's going to make all the difference in the world. So I want to just conclude there and let you know it's time to take massive action. We're coming into the spring months where our networking industry really goes into full swing. Take advantage of it right now. Get in the thick of it. What you do now is going to dictate what's going to happen in the future for you. And now is the time for you to take massive action.